Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm so sorry I have literally gone missing for ages, but so much stuff has happened. I'm not going to bore you with it. And so much stuff was kind of happening around us in the news, online, and there was a lot happening. And there was just too much happening with me that I just couldn't keep up. So I had to have a break. So I'm really sorry. I am back. I know that so much has happened that I need to catch up on. So I'm going to try and do my best. But obviously, I think the biggest thing is all this medical stuff that's been going on with members of the royal family, senior members of the royal family. We know that Prince Charles has been diagnosed with cancer, and that it seems as though Catherine has had some really serious surgery. So I wish them all good health. And I'll go back and do another video on that and on Harry's visit and all that palaver. But I saw today some news which I was actually really shocked and taken back because I don't know what is going on with Harry and Meghan. I want to say something like that I love about them or I admire about them. So I want them to come up with something that I'm like, wow, that was just so good. But I find that everything they do is just either bad timing, it's bad taste, it just does not enhance their supposed brand of humanitarians and charity. It tends to move towards the capitalism and marketing and PR and money and branding and Hollywood. And it's just, anyway, what I'm going to talk about is the news that they have set up a new website called Sussex.com. So you may recall that they tried to set up a website called SussexRoyal.com. I think that's actually, well, they tried to trademark Sussex Royal, some nonsense like that, before they announced them leaving the royal family. So they tried to trademark and try to brand at that point. And then the Queen was like, no, you can't trademark or use the brand royal because obviously you can't trademark and you can't earn money and capitalize on royal, on being royalty, on being members of the royal family, obviously. So that was scrapped. And then they obviously came up with this Archwell business. And it seems as though that's been going on for a while now. And that, looking at their sort of public records about how much they get donated and how much they spend and how much they donate and how much their staff is paid and staff leaving and here and there, it doesn't sound like the greatest foundation in terms of like the greatest change. So now they've come up with this Sussex.com. It's just like, for God's sakes. So before I get into it, guys, for those of you who have stuck with me, thank you so much. And for those of you who are new or those of you who are watching but not subscribed, please do subscribe so that my channel can grow. It's the only way that these channels can grow. So as you can see from this article, they have launched this new website. For some unknown reason, they have chosen to announce this shortly after, the media has been flooded with Prince Charles's cancer diagnosis. I just don't know. I don't know. So it's almost like, the king has cut down his duties. I think he's not appearing in public or whatever it is. He's still doing his constitutional duties. The Queen is having to step up hers. William is having to step up his. Catherine has taken a break from royal duties. So it's almost like, they're in a little bit of crisis. Not crisis, but, they're kind of pulling back and other people are stepping up. It's obviously a strain. It's obviously a burden. And then it's almost like Harry and Meghan take this opportunity to be like, and look at us and what we're doing. We're just advancing forward and look at us grow and all our projects, la 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 la. And you may recall that Meghan was on some red carpet for some nonsense. I can't even remember what it was, but she was saying to some reporter on the red carpet that, oh, they have so many projects in the pipeline, and if only she could talk about them. And Harry is so proud, and she's so proud, and it's stuff to make you feel. So Sussex.com, I don't know if it's part of that crap she was talking about, but it makes me feel nothing. And it's interesting that shortly after that statement, that Netflix came out saying the type of things, the type of projects that they were doing, which just seems really odd because has Netflix ever done that for somebody else? I can't remember. I mean, maybe they have and maybe I'm wrong, but I can't remember another time when Netflix was like, "Oh, in a couple of years, we've got this David Beckham documentary, and we're working on him to do this show and that show." And I just found it so weird that Netflix decided to come out saying what their projects were because people were criticizing them, saying, "Look, this has been going on since 2020 and we haven't seen really anything substantial from you guys. And is there a trouble with Netflix?" And then they see them in Jamaica in some premiere with somebody from Paramount, which is just like, ugh. Anyway. And then all of a sudden Netflix come out with this nonsense. What was Harry doing at that award ceremony with the NFL? What has he got to do with American football? Why is he presenting an award? Why was that the next day or the day after he came and saw his dad and flew to England? So is that why his visit was so quick? Because his diary is so packed? So heaven forbid his diary is inconvenienced. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Harry. Um, and he goes and he starts making jokes about the NFL, about American football. What does he know about American football? Why was he there? Why is that his role? Why is that what he? I'm confused. I'm confused at all these award ceremonies, all this presenting, all this paneling, all these awards they're getting. I'm confused because I'm like, what is it that you're doing? I don't understand. Like, do you have a shelf that's at home that's just full of awards? And you just sort of love yourself. But I don't understand what you're doing. Don't get me started on Harry and a Legends of Aviation award. Do not get me started. That is a different video because what the hell is going on? Anyway, so keeping to what I was talking about here. So apparently a source of theirs, a friend of theirs or a source or whatever, is fighting back on all these critics that are saying, this is not right, by saying, well, it's their name is Sussex, they're entitled to be called Sussex, and they're the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, that is their names. Well, it's actually their titles. And I've heard people say, oh, well, it's their titles, they're entitled to use it. And there's some controversy over, like, this is on the website, and if you can see, it's them in the Invictus Games. And I think this was also their Christmas card. So it's like, is this just one photo? You don't have another one? Like, do you guys just love this photo? So anyway, as you can see here, it says the office of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Now, this is obviously their royal titles. Now, I've heard people say, oh, it's their royal titles, it is theirs, it was given to them by the Queen, it's their gift, they can use it. And then the other problem is here, which is the crest, coat of arms. So that is a coat of arms that was gifted to Meghan. I may be wrong, but my understanding is that when you marry into like senior members of the royal family, you get a coat of arms because obviously back in the day it would have been noble families or other royalties anyway, so they would have had a coat of arms anyway. So, like for example, Catherine was gifted, her family, the Middletons, were gifted a coat of arms. So, this is one that was gifted to Meghan. So basically, half of it is Meghan's side, which is this side. And apparently they're flowers that are native to California. This is a bird that I think represents communication or something. I don't know why it's got a crown around its neck, but okay. And apparently these are leaves that represent California, and in color this would be blue that apparently represents California. I don't know how blue does, or the oceans of California, or the specific ocean, Pacific Ocean, or something like that. And then you've obviously got the crown, and then this side represents royalty and like Harry, the coat of arms that he was born with. Now, what people are criticizing them for is that they've put this crest on their website. So that obviously is it's the symbol of their royalty and their connection to the royal family. So not only do you have the Duchess of Sussex and the Duke of Sussex, but you also have the coat of arms. So if there is a sense that they are profiting off of them being royalty, then we have a problem. So, what some people have said in support of them, and I understand this source has said, that, oh, well, it's their names is Sussex, their surname is Sussex, and then also this coat of arms is theirs, and it's their gift, and it's her gift, and it was given to by the Queen, and blah 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 blah. What I don't think people are appreciating is that when the Queen gave this gift of the coat of arms and the titles, including the HRH, at that time, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were going to be working members of the royal family, and they were going to be senior members of the royal family, right? They were going to be working senior members of the royal family. So she's not going to go out working on behalf of the crown, on behalf of the Queen, as like, "Hi, I'm Meghan Markle." Of course, she's going out as I'm the Duchess of Sussex. You know, they were president of the Commonwealth Youth, blah blah blah. So, like, of course, as that representative and going around on tours in the Commonwealth and whatever work they were doing on behalf of the Crown, they were going to have those titles. Now, for example, when Eugenie and Beatrice got married, now they are both princess and princess. Now, so they have titles, right? I'm not sure if they have HRH, I'm not sure. But when they got married to their respective husbands, their husbands didn't become prince, or they were not gifted the title of Duke and Duchess, right? They're not working members of the royal family. They do their own charitable things, they do their own commercial things, they are there, okay? And they might show up for some family events that are also public events, okay? But they are not working members of the royal family, they don't receive any money from the crown, or from the government, from the taxpayer. But Prince Harry and Meghan did, okay? And they were members of the royal family, they were working senior members of the royal family, and that was the future. That was what was envisaged even under Charles. So when the Queen gave them these gifts, in my view and my opinion, it was on that basis. If they had said from the beginning, oh, you know what, Queenie, you know, me and Meghan, we always dreamed of like this small, tiny wedding on a beach with slippers, which is what he was saying in his in his book, which I find really hard to believe because he was also arguing with his brother who recommended a very small wedding and a small chapel or something, and he was like, what? And so it's like then they wanted Windsor Castle, so it's just so contradictory. Anyway, you know, they had the most public, massive wedding, you know, whatever. So anyway, so I find it really hard to believe. And they did an engagement interview and a blah, blah, blah. You know, I find it really hard to believe that they just wanted this little itty bitty private life and this little itty bitty wedding. So anyway, you want to run that narrative. Okay, fine. So they wanted, you know, this little quiet life. I say, Queenie, you know, I've fallen in love with this woman. We just want this average life. We want to go somewhere in our little cottage or go somewhere in our California hills, and we just want to live a normal life. So thank you very much. We're going to get married and good night. I would have no doubt that the Queen would have been like, I'm really sad, but okay, if that's what you want to do, and would have respected that. And I do not think that she would have been given a coat of arms, all this jewelry, and like this Duchess title and all this so that she can be sunning in some mountain in Montecito, California. No, that's not what was envisaged. So I think it's really unfair to be like, well, it's their name, it's their coat of arms. I think it's really fair. I think it's really unfair. And I do think there is an issue with using the coat of arms. And have you seen that they still use, there's that symbol that all of the, like Charles and Camilla and Catherine and William, they have like their initial and then like a little crown on top, like a little symbol. And so they're symbols in like calligraphy. So with Catherine, it would be a C, with William, it would be a W with like a little crown on top. And then obviously with Camilla and Charles, there's a C. And then when they put them together, it's like an intertwining C. And with Catherine and William, it's an intertwining C and W. And with Harry and Meghan, they had this beautiful symbol with the crown on top, and it had H and it had M like intertwined together. I've seen a photo somewhere on some article with some journalist or some interviewer with Harry taken outside their house in Montecito, and in the background it was pointed out that they had a doormat that had that symbol on it. And I'm sorry, but this is just too much. For me, I just feel like it's so beggar and it's so like trying to hold on to your royalty, like your royal status, because I think despite them disparaging the royal family so badly and trying to make out like we're just normal people with our bare foot in the grass and we just want to live humbly and quietly and we just want to help people in the world and be charitable. I just think that's bullshit because I think on the other side, they, especially Harry, because he was born into this, there is a sense of, hang on a second, I'm royalty, right? I am royalty. I mean, there's rich, there's wealthy, there's political, and then there's royalty. And, I have this history, I'm related to Queen Victoria, blah, 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 blah. Now, he was born into that status, and status comes privilege and power and connection and whatever. And Meghan, I believe, was after that. So she, did every job under the sun that she could do just to basically become famous. And she was going around, hanging around quite well connected and powerful people. And through that, she wanted herself to have some sort of status and some sort of power. And I think a lot of what they do is about power and about having status, turning up to certain events, getting certain awards, red carpet, massive gown, all this nonsense. And, the security, the back-to-back SUVs coming into an award ceremony through a different entrance, and all these paparazzi shots and private jet. And I just think it's all to do with like, this is my status. This is my status. Therefore, it comes with its power. I'm a part of this crew of people, this hierarchy of people, and don't forget it kind of thing. So I feel like despite them disparaging the royal family so much and Harry talking about how, he always just wanted to be a normal person, and Meghan talking about how awful it was, well, you allowed your children to have the titles. You allowed your children to have the titles as children. You didn't let them wait until they were older and they could decide, which I think was something that was mentioned. And, you now you have the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Like, you can never let go of those titles. Everything is Duke and Duchess, Duke and Duchess. She'll stand there on an award ceremony in the background. It will say the Duchess of Sussex, and you're like, God. And then you have now this coat of arms, and you have that symbol with the initials. I mean, if it doesn't scream, we want to hold on to our royal status, I really don't know what it is. And I think with the royal status comes their money, comes their brand, comes things like how they can take these types of pictures in Invictus. Like, what's she got to do with Invictus? Why are you there? Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't. Anyway. So apparently the website went live yesterday evening and it features glowing biographies of both Harry and Meghan, as well as the latest news about the pair. So the Duke is described as a humanitarian, okay, military veteran, agreed, mental health advocate, agreed, and environmental campaigner. Now, my brother, when are you going to let go of environmental campaigner? Because the amount of private jets that you and your wife take, the amount of flights you take just to stay for a day or 2 days or 3 days, I don't know what to say. I mean, there was rumors that you flew from one state to another in America just for a polo match and then sent someone back on a private jet because you forgot your kit or something. And the fact that you fly from state to state in a private jet is just too much for me. The fact that your wife like is just happy to fly from like America to another country on a private jet. The fact that you guys roll around in Range Rovers, and okay, I don't know if your Range Rovers are environmentally friendly, but when you're in New York and you've got back to back to back SUVs, I'm sorry, but enough now. Enough with this environmental campaigner rubbish. His wife is hailed as a feminist and champion of human rights and gender equity. Champion? What has she done? What has she done apart from talk about things that I think are actually outdated? You know, I when you recall her podcast, I just honestly, things like bimbo. Who calls anyone a bimbo these days? So I think she is really outdated in her feminist views. Okay, gender equity, yes, okay, that's fine. She always talks about that, that's fine. I just don't know what impact she makes other than just talking and having this brand, but I don't know what impact she makes. But okay, that's fine. There's plenty of people that look up look up to her and follow her and are influenced by her. If there's any changes that have been made in their lives by her, very well. So it goes, Sussex's online rebranding comes amid speculation that they've been seeking new production companies to work with them. Their £18 million deal with Spotify recently came to an end, and there have been rumours that that streaming giant Netflix may not renew its 80 million contract with them. I don't know, because Netflix seems to be, fond of them basically. And Netflix, I mean, the amount of programs on Netflix that are related to the royal family, I really don't know. And I really don't know. And it's almost like Harry's like their mole or something. I don't know. So the website is operated by the Office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and is a one-stop shop for all their activities. Do you need this if you have Archwell? So one-stop shop for all their activities. I mean, God's sake. Oh my God. And do you know what is so typical is they talk about the awards. So because you hear her advocacy work on resilience, equality, and compassion through action. Compassion through action, she needs to drop that. Because that if Harry's gonna drop environmental campaigner, she needs to drop compassion through action. Because the way she treats like her family, the way she's treated Harry's family, the way that some people have reportedly said things about how she's treated them in various people's books and stuff, she needs to just crap that down. She needs to just cramp that out. Compassion through action. Yeah, okay. Has been recognized alongside her husband with the NAACP, with the NAACP Presence Award, as well as the Robert F. Kennedy Ripple of Hope Award. I mean, oh my God, are these bought awards? I don't know. Oh, it comes ahead of the couple's trip to Canada for the Invictus Games, Vancouver. As you can see here, they do mention that there was a website, sussexroyal.com, launched in 2020 to coincide with their decision to step back as working royals. Now, you need to pause for a moment because you need to think to yourself, what the picture that they portray is almost like they were running away from like a dangerous life threatening situation. They were like running with like barely their bags packed to this secluded island in Canada because they just did not know what to do with their lives after they announced that they were leaving the royal family. But I recall something at the time that they were trademarking various things, or they were doing what's that word? Merchandise. They were merching Sussex Royal and things like that. That may not be true, but obviously this specifies that they had launched a controversial Sussex Royal website, which coincided with their decision to step back. So if you think about it, that is a plan, isn't it? So that's like a conversation, that's a plan, that's a team. That happened as they were leaving the royal family. So it's like you're already trying to trademark, you're already trying to set down a brand. So that begs the question as to what was the true motivation for leaving the royal family. My personal view is that there were loads of deals that they were getting on the table that they had to refuse so much. And Meghan, coming from a different background to Harry, a background where, if you have them kind of deals on the table, that's like, whoa, your eyes are like gorging over that. And everyone wants a piece of you, and you're getting interviews and books and documentary deals and producing details, movie deals. You're getting magazine cover deals, all this sort of stuff, like talk show deals. Like, you're to appear on talk shows, like your eyes are like gorging. If anybody coming up in Hollywood would dream of um that kind of attention. And that's where Meghan came from, because Meghan didn't join the royal family and she was Grace Kelly or Angelina Jolie holding her Oscar. She was somebody who was in her mid to late 30s who had been trying the Hollywood scene for decades, scrounging on, bit parts, on modeling, on advertising, on blogging, for God's sakes. So she wasn't really that good at what she was doing, or well known. And the only thing, when you look at her IMDb, the only thing that really jumps out is Suits. And so, and that's the thing that she always talks about, because it's the only actual credible thing that she can talk about to actually give her any credibility as a celebrity or as an actress or as a worker, frankly, as somebody who had a job. That's the only actual credible thing. So therefore, she's still in that mindset of like, if all these deals come, you know, pouring in, she's still in that mindset where she's like, oh my God, Oprah wants me, Tyler Perry wants me, Netflix wants me, the Times wants me, um, the New York Times, and all this nonsense, Spotify, and that she's still in that mindset where she's like, oh my God, what are we doing? And in my opinion, in the royal family, she would have had to refuse all of that. And the royal families would have, their advisors would have been like, no, no, you're not doing that. And you're not keeping all these free gifts. You're not endorsing these products. You're not getting paid for this. You can't get paid for this. And you're not doing all these deals. You're not doing a book. You're not doing a documentary about your love. You're not doing any of this. Now go to Medway and open up a school. So, in my view, that was one of the reasons, if not the biggest reason, why they probably left the royal family, and then just started all these commercial deals. So, the about page says that the office of the Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, is shaping the future through business and philanthropy. Shaping the future through business and philanthropy. I honestly am. I feel like the last 3 years they've really just been winging it. They've just been like, whatever works, let's just take it and decide whatever works. Let's see. Award ceremonies, speeches, chairing, book, Netflix, children's book, documentary. Now I'm gonna produce a film. Um, I'm doing articles. I'm on the front page of this. I'm modeling. I'm doing a podcast. I'm doing some sort of advert. I've appeared on some sort of award ceremony. I'm like, you know, investing in a coffee company, and now I'm in their advert. Like it's just like they're just doing, let's just do whatever we can. Whatever deal comes on the table, let's just do whatever we can, which in my view was Meghan's attitude before the royal family. Let's just earn as much money as we can. Let's just appear wherever we can appear, these random red carpets on these random events. And what the hell is the Aviation Legends Award? I have no idea. And it's like, they're just doing whatever. When aren't they supposed to be charitable people? Like, isn't their focus supposed to be charity? So, what is all this nonsense? So, anyway, I don't even know. I'm so tired of this. So, obviously, you can read the rest of it. I mean, we're never going to end like here. I mean, we're never going to stop hearing about Harry's 10 years served in the British Army. We're never going to be hearing about Meghan Markle's time in the Suits. Oh, and don't forget, she's a best-selling author with her children's book. Oh my God. And then don't forget, he's a best-selling author or something from his bloody Spear biography. I don't know, guys, if you're falling for this, but I feel like they don't do much and they haven't done much, but they've got great PR and they've got great spin and they've got great, these little videos that come out, these little snippets that come out. I mean, they've got great supporters, that's for sure. But you know what? I don't think that this website is necessary. I think they should have concentrated on Archwell. I think they should have focused on building Archwell. It's only been around for a couple of years or so. Um, but there we go. I don't know what this website is about. I don't know what their brand is about. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they stand for. I don't know. But frankly, they could have waited, couldn't they? At the moment, there's so much focus on the health of the king and Catherine. And so they really could have waited. But that's not really their thing, is it? It's just about them and what they want to do and their attention, and there we are. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there because you can hear from my voice, this is just so annoying. And I am honestly waiting for that day when I genuinely feel like they need or they deserve praise for doing something selfless and genuine and authentic and good. I will be the first to say that. Okay. I try and give honest opinions. I'm not biased here against whatever. I'm not a part of whatever squad either way. I'm just trying to be fair here. I don't appreciate Meghan's picture smiling and grinning in her SUV, the day that Harry flew to see his dad or the day that he was back. I don't agree. I don't appreciate that. And I don't appreciate these random paparazzi shots, which are allegedly set up by them. And if it was set up by them, then that was set up by her. And I just think that that's just awful. Just like her random paparazzi shots of her hiking the day that the king was coronated, or her being heavily pregnant and carrying Archie to his nursery when Catherine released pictures of Louis's birthday. I mean, it's just nonsense, right? They're allegedly set up paparazzi shots. And I believe that that is true because these guys are so litigious. They've sued people who have taken photos of them, but these individuals don't seem to be sued. And I don't seem to be seeing loads of random pictures of these guys with their kids walking around. There only seems to be pictures of their kids where their faces are covered or their faces aren't seen or they're carrying them and it's from behind. So they're very staged. Um, and Los Angeles has so much paparazzi, and yet you don't see so many photos of these guys. You'll see one random shots of her getting into a car, one random shots of her hiking, one random shots of her coming out of a shop, one random shots of her holding flowers, one random shots of her coming out of some doctor's office or therapy office with a bracelet for mental health and anxiety that she's promoting. It's just so random, and so I just don't appreciate their timing for things. um but I don't know. Tell me what you think, guys. Am I being unfair? Tell me your thoughts on this and what they're doing. I have no idea what they are doing. But anyway, guys, please do subscribe to my channel and take care.